Imagine two neighbors. The first brings home $500,000 a year, lives in a sprawling suburban estate, and leases a brand new luxury SUV every 12 months. The second makes exactly $50,000 a year, lives in a modest apartment, and drives a 10-year-old sedan. If you had to calculate which of these two people is mathematically wealthier, the obvious answer seems to be the high earner. But look at their balance sheets. That high earner spends every cent of their $500,000 income maintaining their lifestyle, carrying massive debt with zero savings. If they lose their job tomorrow, the bank forecloses on the house within 90 days. Ruin is immediate. The neighbor making $50,000, however, consistently buys assets and saves. A high salary without asset retention is an illusion. Salary is an unreliable metric for wealth. We must measure true wealth in time, the specific duration you can sustain your lifestyle without a paycheck. By measuring success in days and years instead of dollars, a clear timeline emerges mapping the 7 levels of wealth on this scale. Moving up through these 7 stages is a systematic process of buying back your own time. Level 1 is financial survival. For millions of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, the time horizon is measured in mere days. If the money stops coming in on Friday, the bank account hits zero before next Tuesday. This stage is extremely fragile. A single routine disruption, a blown tire, an unexpected medical bill, or a short-term layoff triggers an immediate crisis. Level 2 is financial stability. Here, the time horizon expands to a few weeks. Bills are paid on time and a basic emergency buffer sits in a savings account. The constant panic of Level 1 is gone, providing real breathing room. However, the structural reality remains. The individual remains dependent on trading their labor for wages. If they stop working, the clock starts ticking fast. These bottom 2 levels make up the survival zone. Daily life revolves around staying afloat and avoiding disaster. Level 3 is financial security. The time horizon finally stretches into months. At this stage, you have 6 to 12 months of living expenses saved up. If you lose your job, you have plenty of time to find a new one. This segmented bar chart shows the mechanical shift that occurs at level 3. On the left, we have your monthly living expenses. On the right, a smaller bar representing passive investment returns begins to rise. Money starts producing returns independently of your labor, offsetting a fraction of your costs. When those investments compound, we reach level 4, financial independence. Once the passive return bar eclipses your monthly expenses, your time horizon reaches infinity. This mathematical crossing point is the driving force behind the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early. Rental properties, dividend stocks, or business ownership generate enough cash to completely cover your survival. The mandatory link between your daily employment and your basic survival is severed. Working is now a choice. From there, we enter massive scale. Levels 5 and 6 are wealthy and rich. We are looking at multi-million-dollar net worths and multiple entirely separate streams of income. Major real estate holdings and large businesses generate substantial passive income around the clock. At this scale, wealth grows even while the owner sleeps. Because the rate of wealth accumulation outpaces the capacity to spend it, time becomes more valuable than money. You already have the money. You cannot buy more hours in the day. Then we reach the absolute peak. Level 7 is generational wealth. At this tier, the time horizon transcends the individual's own lifespan. These are financial dynasties. Family offices manage assets and direct global investments specifically structured to fund the lives of unborn generations. The ultimate expression of wealth is the creation of a permanent financial legacy. Many people stay in the lower levels because they pour all of their time and energy exclusively into climbing the income ladder. This diagram illustrates the strategy used by the wealthy. We see 2 parallel paths. The linear line represents income, which eventually hits a hard ceiling because a single person only has so many hours to work. The ownership curve, however, breaks past that ceiling and scales endlessly. The income path is a closed loop. It requires trading finite time for money. The ownership curve is a self-replicating network where assets generate money on their own. Moving up these levels is a matter of mathematics. While many factors influence success, the mechanical difference between a stagnant income and a growing legacy is the presence of ownership. Evaluate your time horizon. If your primary paycheck stopped today, exactly how long could you survive? Ask yourself whether your daily efforts are building long-term assets or merely earning short-term income. Progressing through these 7 stages is a matter of moving up one level at a time. Ultimately, true wealth is a measure of total freedom. It is simply the duration of absolute independence your money creates.